Just a couple months ago, the RLCS held one of the most highly anticipated professional debuts in years.
Zen's still up. Oh my goodness, Zen!
It's not often these days that a single player draws so much attention and generates so much hype before even being eligible for the RLCS.
Off his line, Zen jumps up and doubles it off his own backward with a huge redirect.
And even then, with such high expectations, it makes it that much easier to just come up short. But in this case, even with expectations so high, this player still exceeded all of them. Allow me to show you how this all happened. How, on his RLCS debut, a player named Zen single-handedly raised the bar of the entire professional scene. Before beginning, to put in perspective how much of a phenomenon this is, the hierarchy of Rocket League skill works like this. There's, of course, the entire ranked ladder, all the way up to SSL. This is where most of the population sits. But beyond that, you've got what I'll call the grinders, people who are definitely better than the average SSL, but don't make a lot of money from it. Above that, there's the semi-pro players, not consistently making RLCS, but definitely up there. And ascending even higher, you have professional play. For a while, this was the pinnacle of Rocket League skill. It couldn't get any better than this. But after his debut, Zen alone has unlocked a completely new tier of skill reserved entirely for just himself. Let's take a look at how he got here. You know how I said Zen had his RLCS debut just a couple months ago? Well, technically, that's not actually true. Back almost 3 years ago, when Zen was only 13 years old, he competed in the RLCS X Fall Regional 1 qualifiers with a team called Space Knights, his teammates being Seiko and Gaspo. The only problem being, you can't actually compete in RLCS until you're 15 years old. Zen was an unregistered player on this team. On paper, the team was actually Seiko, Gaspo, and Azu, but due to a scheduling conflict on day 3 of qualifiers, Azu was no longer available to compete on that day. So instead of forfeiting out of the tournament, they decided to have Zen play on Azu's account, obviously against the rules. And the thing is, they didn't even do that well. They were eliminated from the qualifier after winning only 2 series. And less than a day later, their foul play was caught, and the 4 of them were banned from RLCS competition for a whole year. But since Zen wasn't even eligible to compete yet, his 1-year ban would begin as soon as he turned 15, meaning he now wouldn't get to compete for another 3 years.
Hey YouTube, today I am excited to watch a player that I actually haven't watched any of, but have heard a lot about, and that is the player Zen.
Jumping forward a couple years, in 2022, when Zen was finally 15 years old and just beginning to serve his year-long ban, his performance caught the attention of many viewers in the community, for many by seeing him comfortably at the top of the 2v2 leaderboard. Zen was already becoming a well-known prospect in the French Rocket League community, but when he started winning side tournaments consisting of other top talent in Europe, it elevated him to a whole new level of prestige. The results were consistent too. Although he wasn't eligible for the RLCS yet, his path was set in stone as Team Vitality signed him at the beginning of the 2022-2023 season. The starting 3 players for the season were Alpha, Radosin, and Sizen, but with the plan for Zen to replace one of them once he became eligible for the spring split. For a team to pick him up so early in order to not take any risk of him being signed to another team, it truly shows how valuable he was to this roster, which only meant that his popularity would continue to snowball. This is the point in time where if you pay attention to Rocket League at all, no matter what community you're in, you probably heard about Zen. He still wasn't in RLCS yet, but what he did in the months leading up to it made him by far the most talked about Rocket League player in the world. The sequence of events that created that hype is what I'll call the streak. Starting in February, just 3 months before his RLCS debut, Zen began to do showmatch after showmatch on Johnny Boy's stream, which brought in more and more fans. The community quickly realized just how insane this guy was. Never in history has anyone had such consistency with Rocket League's most advanced mechanics. And his 1v1 showmatches were where that all came to light.
Rawas is one of the most mechanical players in the world. Everyone knows that he's been grinding recently, but he just cannot stop Zen. Zen is up 6-1. Yeah, that Zen versus Naupo does sound like the fastest matchup that is possible in the world of Rocket League right now. Oh, Zen's bow got him. Rebounding the ball off his own back wall. Efficient takeoff for Zen. Oh my word, what a pre-flip. How does that ball left his car so quickly?
Not only was Zen beating some of the best 1v1 players in the world, but he was hitting clip after clip on all of them, scoring in some of the most unique and impressive ways ever seen. His match against Raziers, 3-1. Against Lost, also 3-1. Apparently Jack, 3-0. Moxie, 3-1. Even on ping disadvantage when playing on NA servers. Not a single player in the world could take him down.
We didn't do that, I'm afraid, so it was a draw. Oh, that's great from Zen. That's actually ridiculous. He sets up a rebound with a ceiling pinch. What on earth? How has he controlled that? How is he placing a ceiling pinch? What is going on?
As he kept winning show matches, he kept getting harder and harder matchups, including Yan, Daniel, and eventually Vatira. But still, his streak continued, not dropping a single series. You know how we say pros are playing a different game than everyone else? Well, this guy is playing a different game than the pros. It's like no one else is going for these types of shots. His mechanics are truly in their own tier of skill that no one else comes close to.
I genuinely think he is just like a year ahead of everybody of like the RLCS per scene.
In my opinion, already the most mechanical player without even touching RLCS yet.
I just grabbed a random replay. All the replays will do this.
After winning 11 matches straight, Zen took place in one of the most incredible 1v1 show matches of all time. Zen versus Rawas in a best of 7 for the title of undisputed best 1v1 player in the world.
Game one of a potential 7 between Rawas and Zen. Yes, I think personally Rawas has the best defense in the world. He's going to be tested in a way today that he's never been tested before though. Zen's offense is up there, maybe the best in the world for every play on the ball. He is not making any mistakes. And now he flicks a fourth top corner, Rawas. A second goal here to put him in front would be an incredible advantage for Zen. Rawas starting to get a read on him. He stops the flip reset on the goal line. Looking to get the 50-50 to a safe place, and he's also got to run away from the demo. Well, that was just enough for Zen. He had to be so careful there, and he was.
Although Zen began with an early lead, as the match went on, it was so bizarre seeing how it seemed like in some situations, it was impossible for him to score. He'd pull off the most perfect mind game possible with a combination of speed, power, and precision. Everything literally perfect on his attack, and still Rawas would pull out the save.
Wow. He went for another air dribble bump, but Rawas wrapped himself around it, dodges into the ball, and he comes away with possession. That is a crazy save and a monster of a flick on the counter-attack.
If you have a chance to go back and watch this series entirely, I would highly recommend it. More and more viewers piled in to watch this show match live to the point where it peaked over 15,000 viewers, making it one of the most viewed 1v1 show matches of all time.
Key position for Zen. A 50-50 there flying to his net, but he got a clean touch, and now a clean out play, and an open net as well. That allows him to just take a moment to control the ball. What does he do with that moment? He goes all in for a 2-goal lead. Stop wave dash. Well, it's Zen's game to lose now. And he doesn't make a mistake.
In the end, defense would reign supreme as Rawas closed out Game 7, so Zen's win streak would end at a total of 11. But it's important to realize that this doesn't just happen in Rocket League anymore. But Zen managed to pull it off to kick off his 1v1 show match career and score some of the most impressive highlights while he's at it. There was just one question left on people's minds at this point. Would Zen's playstyle actually work in RLCS? Well, as the spring split approached where Zen would have his RLCS debut, that answer was about to be revealed.
And people are wondering, how is he going to fare, especially in Europe, when you've got monsters on the board?
Alpha 54, who puts it out wide to Redos, and all three players from Vitality involved in this one. Alpha just wants to get that one to the back. But Zen, in the end, it comes from a Carmine Corp player, and Zen does put it home.
Even though there had been so much pressure to perform to such high expectations, Zen kept his cool and helped Vitality to their best result in years.
Too far away from the ball, 1-0.
5 without an answer. Zen looking to be the answer!
The chosen one responds. Zen up into the air early with his stealing.
As the event went on, Zen only heated up to the point where by the finals, he was in full form and continued to score highlights at the highest level of competition.
Here goes Zen again, though. He really has stepped up this game. He's moving pretty quickly, showing it. Oh my goodness, he's uncontainable.
Vitality, of course, finished the event at first place, going undefeated and winning their first regional in almost 2 years. And it didn't stop there. Come Regional 2, they appear just as dominant, once again winning the entire event and dropping only a single series in the finals before closing it out after. I'm sorry, can we just rewind this real quick? Dude literally jumps in the air to force the opponent and then somehow has the vision to stay in the air for several seconds in order to redirect it top shelf. Like, what do you even call this? This sort of thing doesn't even have a name. That's how unique it is. For the third and final regional, you can probably guess how this goes. Vitality and Zen continue to dominate the competition and become the first main region team to win all 3 regionals in a split. Not even Team BDS did that back when they were dominating RLCS back in 2020. There was a point not long ago where the RLCS meta was shifting towards a very basic, boring, bunker down playstyle where you would just score 1 or 2 goals and then just stall time until the clock ran out. What Zen and Vitality have done is turn that meta on its head and bring the RLCS back into the highlight fest that it once was. He changed Vitality from a team that hadn't won an event in almost 2 years back into a team that could set records again. It's hard to overstate how much that actually means because no individual player has been able to make an impact like that in years. And for Zen to achieve it on his RLCS debut, you truly can't beat a performance like that.